Good morning, honorable judges, esteemed opponents, and also respected audience. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Mouti and I am from State Senior High School 12 of East Jakarta. Here as your first speaker of the proposition team for the motion, this House supports a permanent move to online tertiary education. Now, before I move to my main argument, let me first explain some key points in this motion. Now, permanent move here means that online education will be the sole or main type of learning that is used for tertiary education. Now, tertiary education itself means that it is a post-secondary education such as universities, colleges, vocational colleges, etc., etc. Now, if this permanent move were to be implemented properly, it will be a huge change. Why? Well, it gives us more benefits than traditional education will. Especially due to the rise of the improvement in technology of the modern world today. And now I will be moving to my main arguments, in which I have two key arguments. First of all, online education gives a more accessible way of education. More accessible way of education. Second of all, it is a more cost-effective way for both students and also universities or institutions itself. Now, let me move to my first argument, in which online education is a more accessible way of education. Now, since online learning has a more easier access, that means more students who just graduated secondary schools will most likely be able to access higher education even if they are far away or is unable to attend in-person classes due to their health, location, or even disability. Now, these days, most post-secondary education that only has face-to-face learning or traditional or in-person classes forces us to relocate or move and to use transportation that not all areas can provide or afford or use due to low family income, disabilities, and also for those in deeper rural areas. Now, let's go back to COVID pandemic in 2019. When online learning platforms were used as a default or main way of education, it allows students to be able to study anywhere at any time despite the restrictions that are happening worldwide. Those who had disabilities who cannot even go to the school itself can finally be able to achieve a higher education by online learning. Now, if this becomes a permanent move, then education will no longer be a dream or just a treasure to those with access and wealth, but also to everyone or to those who want education. By moving traditional education to online tertiary education, it will help those in need, those with low incomes, those with disabilities, those whose homes are too far away or too rural. They will finally be able to access education and achieve their dreams or jobs that they will need in the future. It will improve and also change not only them but also us all in general. Now, to my second argument, online learning for tertiary education is a more cost-effective way even for the long-term run. So it is more sustainable than traditional education. Now, traditional face-to-face learning or in-person classes requires you to pay not only school fees but also transportations, dorms, housing, meals, and that's only for the students. What about the educators, and also institutions? They have to pay for maintenance, the building itself, electricity, and also other bills like electricity bills, water bills, etc., etc. Now, a permanent move to online learning can reduce most of these costs. Students will finally be able to save more on their own living costs, while institutions will be able to redirect their funds to other things like the education services itself to make education even more accessible worldwide, anywhere at any time. Now, in COVID-19 pandemic, let's go back there. In COVID-19 pandemic, everyone suffered a major loss in their incomes. Universities, institutions could have been permanently closed if not for online learning, online access to learning. Those who can't afford it due to the excessive fees such as housing, transportation, meals, moving, etc., etc., can still access it in their own homes. And also, this is perfect for institutions. They can still open because not all fees are directed to unnecessary stuff, but to the education, to the online platform of education itself. Now, once again, if tertiary education was moved to an online mode of learning for permanent, it will allow institutions to redirect their resources to help fund the education itself, to make it more accessible and also affordable for everyone, despite their economic backgrounds, despite their health issues, despite where they live, where they are, or even what disabilities they have that hinders them to earn education. Education is something everyone needs to get, everyone needs to have. Now, in conclusion, moving permanently to online tertiary education is a must change if we want everyone to be able to access education itself, for everyone to be able to learn. Because not only because of the development of the online era of technology today, but also because it will finally provide access to those who had barriers before, and also provide a more long-term answer to giving and earning education itself. And for these reasons, I am proud to propose this motion. Thank you very much.